Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Hasbro. Remember Hasbro? They used to like to make toys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a long time ago because Hasbro don't care about toys no more. Hasbro wants to be an entertainment giant, but they're failing at the movies. They had to sell off their film and TV unit.
Well, as of late, they're filling it the games too, but you know.
We're going to talk about that because they said that what they're hoping to do is become a digital game giant. That's what Hasbro wants to do.
What's that even mean?
It means they want to make a bunch of video games and crappy mobile games.
That's what they want to do.
It's
not even D&D. It's
well, no, I think D&D is going to be part of it. That's the direction that they're taking D&D in because they have this virtual tabletop now, and they want to have or turn D&D into a freaking mobile app with a bunch of in-app purchases.
So they're going to double down on screwing bears.
They're going to double down on the bear screwing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're going to screw the fans too. They're going to screw the fans.
Been. That's nothing new. At this point, everybody just sleeps through it. They don't even wake up.
Ouch.
I'm sorry.
Oh, ouch.
I am not speaking from experience.
Anywhere. This one's too small.
I mean, everybody's used to it now. You don't even, it's like at this point.
Just bend over and take it from Hasbro. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. If you do, you'll get a woohoo.
Woohoo.
Now, just look at Hasbro, how they're kind of failing compared to Mattel now because they got the Barbie movie. It's making all kinds of money. And Hasbro's like, yeah, we got to sell off our film division. But they were going to do this before.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, we talked about it before.
But now they're cutting their revenue forecast because of it. And I'm sure that's not the only reason that revenue is down.
Oh, no, because they were doing crap with the D&D stuff and the WotC stuff. They weren't doing that great with it.
No, and this is kind of scary. I know we did a podcast episode. Mike Phelan and I did a podcast episode talking about Hasbro. And they're striking out with collectors now, toy collectors. Kids aren't buying their toys much anymore. And, D&D now, they've pissed people off. Magic the Gathering's pissed people off. So what they got left?
Not much.
They're like, oh, we're going to build a G.I. Joe Transformers cinematic universe. We're going to do Dungeons and Dragons on the big screen.
Okay, I just don't know how much of an audience you're going to have for a Transformers and G.I. Joe cinematic universe.
Well,
I'm sure people who will be excited. I'm just saying I don't think it's like a mass appeal type thing.
The G.I. Joe movies were mostly terrible. The second one was watchable-ish, but they were mostly terrible. And the Transformers movies have been mostly terrible. There were Bumblebee. I liked Bumblebee.
I was counting. How long until you mentioned Bumblebee? Go ahead.
Bumblebee's good. The last one wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but it definitely wasn't the best. And most of the Bayformers movies are hot trash. So,
yeah, he said it.
Whatever. Right. Good luck with that. So let's talk about this. Hasbro's going to sell Entertainment One film TV unit to Lionsgate for $500 million. The toy giant shed E1 to focus on branded assets like Peppa Pig, Transformers, and Dungeons and Dragons as it looks to become a digital game giant.
I don't know if Peppa Pig's as big as it used to be. I don't think it is. I think like Cocomelon ate its lunch.
Cocomelon likes ham.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like any of these kid shows, these preschool shows, you have a generation or two that watches them, then they move on to something else.
Right.
Well, it's like that Ryan's World kid. They had an interview about some new thing he's doing, and he's like freaking 12 or 13 years old now. Mm-hmm. And they got toys with his face on it from when he was 4.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's still popular. I just don't really see kids watching it a lot anymore. But anyway, let's go to the point.
All right. The price tag consists of $375 million in cash, subject to certain purchase price adjustments and the assumption of production financing loans, the company said before the stock market opens. So it's already been approved by both companies' board of directors, and they got to go through regulations and all that. So it says the sale covers a content library of 6,500 titles and active productions for non-Hasbro IP like The Rookie, Yellow Jackets, and Naked and Afraid. Wait, Hasbro owned Naked and Afraid.
I guess. I didn't know they owned The Rookie or Yellow Jackets either, but here we are.
Wow. Okay. And they said that they have Hasbro-based shows like Play-Doh Squished.
Which is kind of like, I think, the Lego show where you make stuff.
They financed movies such as D&D Honor Among Thieves, which We have on digital. We haven't watched it yet. People said it wasn't terrible, but it didn't make a lot of money.
Oh, well, speaking of something that bombed horribly, The Woman King.
And The Woman King. I can't imagine why they have to sell this off. So Lionsgate, they're buying them up cheap, basically. $500 million is pretty cheap.
Yeah, for Hollywood, yeah.
For Hollywood,
that's
it
low.
is.
It's a bargain.
They put up for sale a couple of years ago.
It took this long?
It did. It took a while. Yeah. So let's see here. Man, they bought it in 2019. Oh my God, they lost $3.5 billion.
Well, it's part of the $4 billion. It wasn't just that stuff. That explains how they have those shows. Because I was like, why would Hasbro have those shows? That would be why.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Because I know Brian Goldner, the former CEO of Hasbro, who passed away, he was big into Hollywood. That was his thing. He was the one that wanted to push the movies. Now they have Chris Cox in there, and he's from Microsoft, and he wants to push games.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to refrain from the obvious jokes about screwing people in the CEO's name.
Games. So yes, now Chris Cox has come in, and they've been giving it to the fans from behind. They said that this sale fully aligns with our strategy, and we're pleased to bring the process to a successful close. And
it aligns with your strategy. We meant to lose $3.5 billion.
Yeah, they lost $3.5 billion.
God, with our strategy.
God, that's insane. But he has said before, they both, him and what's her name, Cynthia Williams, who's in charge of Wizards now, they both came from Microsoft. They both have said on multiple occasions that they're looking to turn D&D and Magic into games, like video games. That's what they're into, video games.
I mean, they're traditionally like the tabletop things, but I don't think a video game would. I think it would do well if done properly. Let's put it that way. I mean, we saw like even though they're doing bear screwing and weird stuff, that Baldur's Gate's got a lot of press, and I think a lot of people are interested in it.
Yeah.
So I think done correctly, it can generate a lot of money. I think you need to do them in tandem because a lot of people are going to want to keep the tabletop aspect of it. If they can do it in tandem, they might be able to help themselves. But I don't want Hasbro, who makes a lot of other toy lines, by the way, to just be all they do is video games and, tabletop stuff.
Yeah. So here's their stock. Their stock has taken a hit. They said they cut their revenue forecast as the writer's strike hits entertainment. That's not the reason why. Well,
they're going to get a little bit of a bump because the holidays are coming.
Yeah.
But that being said, I don't know if they have anything that's really that popular right now. And a lot of their stuff that they have is overpriced and it's not very well made, and people are turning against it.
Well, here's the thing, because they said that they want to focus on their core brands in another article. They said they want to focus on Transformers, Dungeons and Dragons, their core brands. They want to turn them into games or some crazy crap like that. They've been jobbing out a lot of their classic IP.
Yeah.
As toys.
Speaking of which, Basic Fun. You're supposed to have celestial ponies. Where do I find those? Because learn more. Celestial ponies.
Yeah,
I cannot
nothing.
Find them.
They're not.
They're only in Australia. Are you gonna bring them over to the United States or not? Because I want your celestial ponies.
She wants your ponies.
I want your ponies. Look at that brushable hair.
Look at that.
And the weird antenna. But I really do
alien
want these.
ponies.
And I would like to know when I can get these, please. Thank you.
Yeah, so they've been losing interest in, at least from my point of view, and that's what Mike and I were talking about. They seem like they're losing interest in making toys. Like Hasbro, a toy company, wants to do everything but make toys. So a lot of their classic toys,
that's true.
Yeah, they're not creating new brands. They're not creating new IP at all. Everything that they're milking right now was created back in the 80s.
And they're the ones that bought out Kenner, weren't they?
Yeah, they bought Kenner.
And they bought other board game companies and stuff. But
Parker Brothers
right.
and
So they bought these other toy lines, because they're supposed to be focused on toys, and they're using some of those IPs that they had from Kenner and stuff, for their movie making, whatever.
Yeah.
But they have all this stuff. I would like to see them, focus again on toys and make them, reasonably priced and not put them in a landfill because it's cheaper.
Yeah, so I mean, they have so much. They have ponies. They were doing strawberry shortcake at one point in time, and They've done some Transformers, and there are other companies now making G.I. Joe and Transformers like Super 7.
Right.
So it feels like, and that's one thing that we talked about in the podcast, is it feels like Hasbro would be better off at this point if they don't want to make toys, just license the brands out to companies that still want to make toys because they seem like they're above it now.
The only problem with that is if you license out to other companies, a lot of times they end up costing a lot more. And I think Hasbro is already charging too much for a lot of their stuff. I mean, their Transformers are shit. And their paint jobs are crap. And then they're charging like $55 for a Transformer now.
Oh my God.
I mean, why are kids buying them? People aren't going to, I had to buy a present for so-and-so's birthday party. Oh, they want a Transformer. It's $55. Well, they're not getting that. What's cheaper and, something they'll play with.
Sometimes you'll see like the $10 toys now or the $15 toys.
$7 for like a little tiny, it looks like a Headmaster.
Yeah, they were the whatever the Beast Machine partner toys or Beast Wars partners, and it basically is just, it used to be an accessory. It was like Cheetor turns into a gun. It would have been an accessory under old Hasbro, but now it's $7 or $8 just for that little tiny thing.
And then the ones that they have that are cheaper are like the $10 ones are just like there's nothing to transform. They auto transform, or they're like you move two things and it's like a
dollar store
play school version.
Yeah,
they need to do better than this.
They're not. They don't care. Hasbro doesn't care about toys anymore. They've said it multiple times. They either want to be a movie studio or they want to be a game company or video games, not even board games. Because it seems like they're trying to transition D&D and Magic into digital. And then at that point they become like a tech company. And that's kind of crap. But the thing that kills me about it is you're never gonna get new IP. You're never gonna get new stuff. Like back in the 80s, they were firing on all cylinders. Every year they had something new.
I was going to point that out. I was going to bring that out. I think one of the reasons I think they're having trouble is because they keep doubling down on IP that's old, that no one wants, or that you've already ruined with new versions of. And you need to go back. Celestial Ponies is a new thing. It's a new My Little Pony thing. So that might do well because it's new. But you guys need to really think about taking some chances on some new IP, because there's other toy companies out there kicking your ass and having things that kids want, because they tried something new. Monster High's Mattel, but they're bringing it back. But they at the time they tried something new and it beat out Barbie. It kicked Barbie's ass, and that was their top selling toy. So for girls anyway, they need to try new things, and they're not.
Yeah, this is what they're going to focus on now. They said Peppa Pig transform. Well, Peppa Pig, they have a theme park coming.
They do. I think it's out already.
And they bought E1. Apparently, they bought E1 for Peppa Pig. I think that was my understanding. And then they basically took Peppa Pig out of it, and they're
I think that's right. Magic, Ponies, Power Rangers, Play-Doh, Monopoly, and Clue. And Monopoly and Clue. I mean, how many Monopoly versions are out now? But Clue. We had to add. They're doubling down on agenda-driven bullshit, which is chasing off audiences.
The only two things out of these core brands, the only two things that they created, and that could even be argued with Transformers, because Transformers was
a Japanese toy. And they
multiple Japanese toy lines.
Appropriated.
And
but
then
it worked well.
It did work well. And My Little Pony was created whole cloth by Hasbro. Power Rangers they bought. Play-Doh was Kenner. Monopoly and Clue were Parker Brothers.
And what's sad is they have things that are perennial favorites and they aren't bringing back, like Little's Pet Shop.
Oh yeah, Little's Pet Shop.
Little's Pet Shop, always popular, and they usually would cycle it every few years and do something new, and they haven't done anything with that. Then G.I. Joe isn't on the list. I thought they were making a cinematic universe with G.I. Joe,
Yeah. They said, brands but G.I. Joe collectors are pissed off now about the classifieds figures because they've really taken a hit in quality.
That's the thing, they've taken a hit in quality, but the price tag went up.
Yeah, they're $30, $35 toys.
I think you'd find if they made the price better, okay, your choice. Either you increase the quality, increase the price tag, or if you're going to lower the quality, you lower the price tag. You can't do it both ways because it's biting you in the ass. If you had done better quality for a higher price, it probably wouldn't have hurt you. If you had done a little bit less of quality, maybe not as much paint on something, but for a lower price, people might have been more willing to buy it because it's more affordable for people with children. But you did it. You tried to split the difference in the dumbest way possible.
Yeah, so I think their stock is going to take a massive hit. I don't think sales are going to be that great because you go to any discount store now, and it's just so much Disney Hasbro crap, just glutton shelves.
Completely.
It's just horrible. And they're not saying, "Hey, we're going to focus on Star Wars." I wonder if they'll even be like, you know what, Star Wars isn't profitable for us anymore. We had to dump a bunch of it off at Ollie's.
But if they're willing to spend so much money, like buying E1 and all other shit, why didn't they use some of that money and just make new things?
That's hard.
I know, but all these toy companies are just recycling old things, and it's like if you try making some new things, or get something else that's established, but get the license for it,
Yeah.
and do that, so you're making something new instead of just and a lot of the shit they put out is just the same mold, just different paint on it. It's like I know it's cheap that way, but maybe take some of your money and try something different, or go find something that kids really like and try to get the licensing rights for that.
Yeah,
something like that, and then make decent toys at a decent price.
I don't understand, because they used to do all kinds of focus groups, and they used to, throw spaghetti against the wall and see what stuck. And now it's just like, let's go back to the same well again and again and again.
In general, unless it's independent companies, toys are not designed like they used to be. They are not like thought out like they used to be. It was like an event. Here's a new toy line. Here's a little cartoon that goes with it. And they were amazing things. And yeah, it cost some money, and some of it failed and some of it did really well. But we wouldn't have had the things that we love if we didn't have the toy designers and the creators and the ingenuity behind this stuff. And they were like Star Wars and stuff. They were part of a license, but they went out and got it. You know what I mean? When, it was Kenner, but you know what I'm saying? We don't have that kind of grit and chutzpah that we used to have. And I think that it's reflecting in what we're given. It's reflecting in the market. It's reflecting in what they're making in money. And they need to do that. Oh, well, let me give a shout. If you're interested in toys and toy collecting and talking to toy designers, PowerCon is not this weekend. It's next weekend in Ohio. And they have a whole bunch of toy designers that worked on new stuff and old stuff and everything in between, and a bunch of independent toy people making new things coming to that convention. So there's a lot of cool stuff we've seen. So if you want to check that out, I'm just giving them a plug because I like seeing a show that's actually focused on what it's supposed to be on, and not on a bunch of celebrity petting zoo guests. It's actually toy people, toy makers, toy designers, actual people who are out there doing it and making new things. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up. Yes.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.